Week 6, when we're making our lineups, our DFS lineups, where are we game stacking? Which games are we attacking? Let's start with the best games. And by far, for me, the Lions at Jaguars just jumps out. We have two capable quarterbacks and two capable offenses and two really bad defenses that will allow fantasy points. And Matt Stafford is my boy. You have a lot of the stud quarterbacks in the league and not on the main slate. To me, this is a Matt Stafford slate. This is a Kenny Golladay slate. Marvin Jones in tournaments, TJ Hawkinson in tournaments. This is the week that Matt Stafford wins people tournaments, and I hope it's going to be me. I hope it's going to be you. And then you can obviously run it back. We're going to talk about injuries here soon, but there's interesting options. Keelan Cole has been playing a lot. Laviska Shenault is starting to pick it up and play more of a wide receiver role. And then will DJ Chark play? We'll see. Will Tyler Eifert play? We'll see. There's some interesting options there as well. The Texans and Titans, without Bill O'Brien, we saw what the Texans were able to do. Now, that was against the Jaguars, who were banged up. They should have some defenders back, but still, again, Matt Stafford. But Deshaun Watson, without Bill O'Brien, I think can be unleashed a little bit because Bill O'Brien just sucked that bad. And then the Titans are playing great. Ryan Tannehill is playing great. Derrick Henry's a fantastic play. And we know the Texans have a terrible defense, so that's an interesting game. And then we have Aaron Rodgers going against Tom Brady. So this one's fun. Davante Adams comes back. Carlton Davis might not play. Let's go. Get Davante Adams in your lineups. Obviously some fun plays there. And then teams that are just in really good spots, of course, the Vikings at home against the Falcons. That's easy. Everybody's going to be on Alexander Madison, but we can make some tournament stacks with Kirk Cousins as well. Irv Smith, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, yada, yada. The Colts are at home against the Bengals. Bengals now are without DJ Reader. There's a lot of contrarian options here. My favorite one being T.Y. Hilton, who I believe saw 10 targets last week. At some point, T.Y. is going to be T.Y. He's going to catch a long touchdown. Put me down for it being this week. The Dolphins are at home as well, I believe. Yes, the Dolphins are at home against the Jets. We know how bad the Jets are. We know how bad their defense is. And Ryan Fitzpatrick, it's either Fitztragic or Fitzmagic. And so far, for the most part this year, it's been Fitzmagic. This guy is about to hang him up. Let's show appreciation for, I saw somebody tweet, he's obviously not a Hall of Famer, but he's a Hall of Appreciationer. Let's appreciate this guy before he hangs him up. He's so fun to watch. He's so good. He can get the ball in his hands. Remember that year where he made Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker both top 12 receivers? He did it last week with both Devontae Parker and Preston Williams. Mike Gesicki's being used like a wide receiver in the slot. One of my favorite tight end plays of the week. And Myles Gaskin is starting to get a ton of run. Jordan Howard was inactive last week, so Gaskin started to get that goal line role in addition to the majority of the carries and targets. So everybody on the Dolphins is interesting this week, and a lot of them are affordable enough to where they make even more sense in cash and in tournaments. A couple more, the Steelers, Chase Claypool, the second coming of Calvin Johnson pretty much. They're at home against the Browns. Browns are pretty banged up. They've been a little bit banged up on defense. Now they're banged up a little bit on offense with Baker and Jarvis and Odell Beckham with some sketchy stuff and on the injury report. So I think the Steelers win this game and their offense should continue to giddy up. No Deontay Johnson, so Claypool again. Juju makes a ton of sense in tournaments this week. I will always stand for my boy Juju. James Washington, Eric Ebron is an interesting tournament play. James Conner, literally everybody. And then I'll just go with two more. The Patriots at home with Cam Newton coming back. The biggest thing here, and why I brought up Davante Adams earlier, and one of the things I'll continue to preach just over and over and over, because of recency bias, because there's only one game a week apart, we forget so easily about players and we just want to move on. Cam Newton, he had COVID, we can't play him. Cam Newton's back. He's healthy. He had COVID, which is something that, we don't know what the long-term effects are, but he's probably going to be fine. I'm not a doctor, but he's an interesting tournament play against a Broncos defense that's pretty good, but the whole team is banged up. My squad is just not that great. And it's the same thing for Davante Adams. Davante Adams is out for a while. Oh, we need to see it. We need to see if he's healthy enough. No, this is when you play some of the best players in the NFL, right when they're coming back, right when they're going to be under-owned. So Cam Newton's right in play there. And then the last one is the Bears, because I have to continue to talk about the Panthers defense. Panthers defense has been a little bit better than I expected. As I've said, I think they could be one of the worst all time. Maybe that was a little bit too far, but there's still definitely a defense that we want to attack. And the Bears have an easy offense to decide what we want to do. No, Tariq Cohen means David Montgomery is one of the best running back plays on the slate. He will be in my lineups. And then, Allen Robinson just continues to be a monster, and he's benefiting from Nick Foles. Nick Foles is a hot and cold quarterback. He's going to throw interceptions, but he's got a big arm. He's willing to take chances. And at the end of the day, that is huge for a guy like Allen Robinson, who gets the target share, who's really not pushed by anybody else on that team. Darnell Mooney starting to come up. Jimmy Graham acting like he's 25 again. But those are some good plays as well. Let's get this money in week 6.